How much have we spent with Sky Mercer over the last 4 years?
I don't have that with
A
me.
lot. Probably add up to a pretty fair salary every year. We pay her a lot of money to review and update our policies. Why are we paying somebody else in addition to that?
I have a
Bill?
question. Is this really about the policies or is this about a human resources process and procedure? Because we're not on the agenda. The agenda item that we're on right now is the policy update that it's gone through workshop, it's gone through legal, and the question that we're supposed to be discussing is, do we approve it, deny it, or are we going to table it?
Mhm.
This discussion is moving into a human resources job function discussion, which is disingenuous. If you guys want to ask those questions, I respectfully request that the board put that as a different agenda item to discuss the process and procedure of human resources, how we update, how we contract with legal, and not use a human resources item to change the topic, because that is not what she's standing here for. And it's not fair to a county employee to be essentially put on the stand for an issue that's not on this agenda.
Mr. Wilson?
So I can't, this is Bill Wilson for the record, and I can't speak to every issue you guys have raised, but I do want to address the reason that we use CARA for these policies. So with the exception of the whistleblower policy that is rooted in Idaho state law, a lot of these employment the policies reflect federal law, and CARA's got 3 decades of experience litigating these issues. I do have my share of experience in these, mainly from the investigation front end side. But when we create policies that are going to be long lasting, like I think you said, some of these, the last ones we looked at were 7 or 8 years ago. That's why we use CARA, because I think she was even an HR specialist herself before she became an attorney. So in my opinion, that is money that's incredibly well spent. And she, having her give us draft policies on the front end is something that is something I really support. And I am a fan of hers. So I hope that answers the question as to who we're using and why. As far as I think that's about my only contribution. Did you have any other questions for me while I'm up here?
Well, I'm just trying to understand how we know which. Thank you.
Okay.
I'm trying to just understand, Bill, what we determine. Oh, Mr. Rosedale, which policies we use, and when we use the prosecutor for certain. For what elements of county business? Sure.
So I mean, we do that. It's each case is unique. When we have to make a decision as to whether or not we can handle something in-house or we need to use an outside specialist. Each decision has to be made on the merits of whatever is before us. And I think that we've, for this particular issue, for the drafting of policies, we've, like I said, we've used CARA now for
Since 2015.
7, 8 years. So that's a pretty settled practice for this one.